Right now, you can buy a real Porsche for less than what most people spend on a used Toyota, while other shoppers are financing complicated new crossovers loaded with screens that will go dark in 5 years. Smart buyers are quietly snapping up dirt-cheap Porsches built to be repaired, not replaced. Here are 10 of them, with the most underrated long-term survivor waiting at number 1. Things only get better as the prices keep dropping. Number 10. Porsche Cayenne 957. Kicking off at number 10 is the first-generation Cayenne, specifically the later 957 examples from 2008 to 2010. Nobody buys these because the depreciation curve looks horrifying on paper. A $90,000 truck 20 years ago now trades hands for under $12,000. People assume that math means the truck is garbage. They're wrong. The 957 platform is genuinely overbuilt. You're looking at real off-road hardware, a durable steel chassis, body-on-frame construction borrowed from the Volkswagen Touareg, and an interior assembled with the kind of precision Porsche normally reserves for flagship cars. Owner forums on Renlist and Planet Cayenne consistently document examples crossing 200,000 miles when maintenance stays current. The catch is engine choice. Independent specialists report that early 955 V8s carry water pump and bore scoring concerns that can wipe out the entire price advantage in one repair bill. Stick with the later 957 V6 or the diesel variants and you bypass most of the worst risks. Pricing on a clean 957 lands between $8,000 and $15,000 depending on mileage and trim. Budget another $2,500 a year for proactive maintenance, including drive shaft support bearing and transfer case fluid intervals. Skip the cheapest example on Craigslist and target one with full Porsche service stamps. Treat it like a precision vehicle and it rewards you with another decade of utility most modern luxury SUVs cannot match. Up next, the cheapest Porsche in this entire video. Number 9. Porsche 924S. Number 9 is the Porsche 924S, genuinely the cheapest way you can drive a Porsche today. Clean examples trade between $4,000 and $7,000, which is less than people spend on used Honda Civics. The 924S exists because Porsche bolted the 944's 2.5-litre inline-4 into the lighter 924 chassis from 1985 to 1988, creating an entry-level sports car that punched far above its sticker. Nobody buys it because the original 924 carried a stigma for years. It started life with a Volkswagen-sourced engine, which Porsche purists used to dismiss it as fake. The 924S corrected that complaint by installing the proper Porsche-engineered 944 motor, but the reputation never fully recovered. That stigma is exactly why the car works for this video. Hagerty's market data consistently shows the 924S trailing the 944 base by thousands of dollars, despite sharing the most important hardware. You're buying the engine, transaxle and chassis balance of a 944 in lighter packaging for half the price. Mechanically, the 924S is straightforward. The 2.5-litre inline-4 is durable when timing belt and water pump intervals are respected, with documented examples crossing 200,000 miles. Parts availability through Pelican Parts and 924 specialists is strong. Buy a clean documented example for under $7,000. Refresh the timing belt, suspension bushings and brakes up front. Drive it hard and it will keep running long after most modern crossovers in this price range have been crushed. Wait until you hear about Porsche's forgotten V8 flagship. Number 8. Porsche 928. Number 8 is the Porsche 928. Porsche developed the 928 in the 1970s with the explicit intention of replacing the 911. The plan didn't work, but the engineering survived. You're looking at a front-mounted aluminum V8, a rear transaxle for near-perfect weight distribution, and a body designed for autobahn cruising at speeds most modern, luxury sedans still cannot match. Nobody buys it because the 928 has a reputation for expensive maintenance. That reputation is half true. Stuttcars notes that second-hand 928s should have no significant issues if they were maintained by someone who actually understood the platform. And Petrolicious describes the all-aluminum V8 as robust and reliable when looked after. The all-aluminum V8 is the mechanical centerpiece. It uses a chain-driven cam setup on later models, which eliminates the timing belt anxiety that haunts the 944 family. owner forms on Renlist and 928 International Document, examples reaching 250,000 miles on original short blocks when oil change intervals stay tight. The catch is service costs. A driveline refresh on a neglected 928 can run $8,000 to $12,000 quickly. The price advantage you got at purchase evaporates the moment you skip a major service. Driver quality 928 examples sit between $10,000 and $15,000. Target a 1989 or newer S4 or GT with documented service history and budget $3,000 a year for proactive maintenance. Coming up, a turbocharged bargain still hiding in plain sight. Number 7. Porsche 944. Turbo number 7 is the Porsche 944 Turbo, also known as the 954V1. This is the variant that turned the 944 from a respectable sports car into something that genuinely embarrassed contemporary 911s on a circuit. The K26 turbocharger bolted to the 2.5-litre inline-4 pushed output to 220 horsepower in early cars and 247 in the 1988 Turbo S, and it did so while preserving the same near 50-50 weight distribution that made the base 944 feel so balanced. Nobody buys this car because the word turbo scares used Porsche shoppers off automatically. The assumption is that any old turbocharged engine equals catastrophic boost-related failures waiting to happen. The 944 turbo registry data tells a different story. The K26 unit is genuinely durable when oil quality and intercooler condition are maintained, and the engine itself shares its reinforced bottom end with the later S2. The mechanism that keeps this car alive is engineering depth. Balance shafts inside the inline-4 cancel the secondary vibrations that would normally tear up bearings at high mileage. Independent specialists report 944 turbos crossing 180,000 miles on original turbos when service intervals stay disciplined. Driver quality 944V4 turbos now trade between $15,000 and $22,000. That's more than the base 944, but considerably less than equivalent era Ferraris or front-engine GTs offering similar performance. Refresh the intercooler hoses, knock sensors and timing belt up front, and the car rewards you with sports car performance for Grand Tourer money. Number 6. Porsche 987.1 Cayman. Number 6 is the 2006 to 2008 Porsche 987.1 Cayman base. This is the only car on this list that genuinely qualifies as modern by current standards. You're looking at a mid-engine layout, a 2.7-litre flat 6 tucked behind the seats, and chassis tuning that critics have spent 20 years calling some of the best Porsche has ever signed off on. The reason nobody buys it cheap is that buyers assume mid-engine sports cars from the 911 family carry six-figure price tags. They don't anymore. Clean 987.1 Cayman base examples now trade between $14,000 and $18,000 with full service histories. That's less than what you'd pay for a brand new entry-level Toyota, and you're getting genuine sports car credentials in return. The mechanism that makes this car a long-term keeper is the chassis. The 987 platform shares its core architecture with the 987 Boxster, which Pelican Parts Forum data documents reaching 250,000 miles on properly maintained examples. The M97 Flat 6 does carry the IMS bearing concern inherited from the 996, but later production examples switched to a stronger ball bearing that meaningfully reduced the failure rate. You verify the IMS situation through documented service work or preemptive replacement, which independent specialists charge between $1,500 and $3,000 to perform. Once that's handled, the 987.1 Cayman becomes the cheapest way to own a thoroughly modern Porsche that drives like a sports car should. Speaking of mature, the next pick perfected the formula. Number 5. Porsche 944 S2 Number 5 is the Porsche 944 S2. If the base 944 is the mechanical introduction and the turbo is the performance variant, the S2 is the mature evolution. Porsche stretched the inline-4 to a full 3.0 litres, which made it the largest production four-cylinder in the world when it launched, and refined the chassis with stiffer bushings, larger brakes and improved steering geometry. Nobody buys it because the S2 lives in the awkward middle of the 944 family. It's more expensive than the base 944, less collectible than the Turbo, and carries the same old Porsche stigma that holds back the entire transaxle line. That overlooked status is exactly why the value is real. The mechanism here is the long-stroke 3.0-litre motor. It's torquier than the smaller 2.5-litre, runs cooler under load, and shares the same balanced shaft architecture that lets these engines pile on miles without grenading. Owner forums document S2 examples crossing 200,000 miles on original heads, and Hagerty's reliability data consistently rates the S2 powertrain among Porsche's most durable from the era. Pricing on driver quality S2 coupes lands between $11,000 and $16,000, with cabriolets running slightly higher. Refresh the timing belt, water pump and motor mounts up front. Verify the dashboard hasn't cracked, since replacements are expensive. Then you have a Porsche that rewards proper maintenance with another 2 decades of usable life. Get ready, the cheapest 911 ownership window opens next. Number 4. Porsche 996 Carrera. Number 4 is the Porsche 996 Carrera. This is the most controversial car in the entire video, and it's also the most affordable way to own a real 911 in 2026. Clean 996 Carreras trade between $15,000 and $22,000, which puts a 6-cylinder rear-engine 911 within reach of anyone who can finance a used Camry. Nobody buys the 996 because of 2 unforgivable sins in Porsche culture. It abandoned air cooling, and it wore those famously polarizing fried egg headlights. The internet has spent 20 years amplifying both complaints, plus the legitimate IMS-bearing concern, into folklore that has held values down across the entire generation. The IMS issue needs careful framing. LN Engineering, the specialists who engineered the most popular replacement bearing, document that 1997 to 2005 M96 cars carry the original concern, with single-row bearings from 2000 to 2005 representing the highest risk. They also confirm that retrofit and replacement solutions are now considered routine maintenance among knowledgeable owners. Hagerty's 996 buying guide describes a sorted example as one of the sweetest handling 911s ever produced, and notes that values are stable enough that owners are reinvesting in the cars rather than running them on a shoestring. Buy a 996 with documented IMS work, or factor $3,000 into the purchase price for the upgrade. Avoid the cheapest examples, which almost always reflect years of corner cutting. A properly sorted 996 is a real 911 that should run for another 200,000 miles. If you enjoy this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Number 3. Porsche 968. Number 3 is the Porsche 968. The 968 is what happens when Porsche perfects a formula right before the market moves on. It's the final evolution of the transaxle line that started with the 924, and Porsche's own historical material describes it as the zenith of that engineering era. You're looking at a 3.0-litre 16-valve inline-4 with variocam variable valve timing, a refined transaxle, larger brakes, and a chassis that combines balance, durability, and serviceability in a way few cars from the 1990s can match. Nobody buys it because the 968 lives in a strange identity gap. It's not as famous as the 944, not as glamorous as the 911, and not as collectible as the 928. Casual buyers barely know it exists, which keeps prices lower than the engineering deserves. The mechanism that makes the 968 outlast modern cars is build quality. Stuttcars and Octo Classic both describe the platform as rugged, well-balanced, and impressively rust-resistant due to the galvanized body panels Porsche introduced late in the 944 life cycle. The variocam-equipped engine carries chain-driven cam adjustment that simplifies portions of the service schedule older 944s cannot match. Driver-quality 968 examples now trade between $15,000 and $22,000, with cabriolets and club sport variants commanding premiums. Verify timing belt service within the last 50,000 miles. Confirm the transaxle synchros engage cleanly. Then you have arguably the most sophisticated long-term Porsche ownership proposition under $20,000. Hold on, the most mechanically pure pick is next. Number 2, Porsche 944. Number 2 is the Porsche 944, specifically the standard base coupe from 1983 to 1989. This is the mechanical heart of everything else on this list. The 944 introduced the inline 4, the transaxle layout, and the chassis balance philosophy that the S2 Turbo and 968 all built on. You can still find clean documented examples between $5,000 and $9,000, which is genuinely the best engineering per dollar ratio in the Porsche catalogue. Nobody buys the base 944 because it was too practical for 911 purists, too front-engined for badge snobs, and too four-cylinder to impress spec sheet shoppers. That trifecta of dismissal kept values low for decades, even as the car's reputation among enthusiasts kept climbing. The mechanism that makes this car a long-term keeper is simplicity. The 2.5-litre inline 4 uses balance shafts to eliminate the secondary vibrations that destroy bearings at high mileage. The transaxle layout puts the gearbox at the rear of the car, which delivers near 50-50 weight distribution and reduces stress on driveline components. Haggerty has explicitly noted that the 944 was one of the best handling production cars of its era. Service requirements are well documented. Stuttcars and Octo Classic both confirm the 944's primary failure points are timing belt and water pump intervals, suspension bushings, and aged electrics. None of those are mysterious. All of them are fixable for known costs. Buy the cleanest base 944 you can find under $9,000. Refresh the consumables. Drive it for the next 20 years. Number 1 Porsche 986 Boxster number 1 on this list, and the most underrated long-term survivor in the entire Porsche back catalogue is the 986 Boxster. The 986 helped save Porsche financially in the late 1990s, introduced an entire generation to the brand, and delivered genuine mid-engine sports car dynamics for entry-level money. Today you can buy a clean 986 Boxster for between $7,000 and $12,000. That price tag does not match the engineering you receive. Nobody buys it because the 986 has spent 2 decades being dismissed. It's been called the starter Porsche, the poor man's 911, and the sports car for people who couldn't afford a real Porsche. Every one of those takes is wrong, and the data backs it up. Revolution Porsche, a UK Porsche specialist, documents a 78% MOT pass rate on the 986, which directly contradicts the assumption that age and mileage automatically equal fragility. They explicitly state that high mileage is not necessarily a problem if the car has been maintained. The mechanism that makes the 986 a long-term keeper is mid-engine geometry. The flat 6 sits behind the cabin in front of the rear axle, delivering a polar moment of inertia conventional front-engine cars cannot match. That layout reduces tyre wear, brake heat, and chassis stress during normal driving, and it lets the car drive predictably decades after the original buyer drove it home. The IMS bearing concern is real on M96 cars and cannot be hand-waved. Independent specialists charge between $1,500 and $3,000 for a preventive replacement, and that single service call effectively eliminates the most cited risk factor. RMS leaks, age seals, and bore issues are all known patterns, with known fixes documented across the specialist community. Buy a 986 with full service records. Verify the IMS history. Drive it. The 986 is the most provable example of an old Porsche devalued more by reputation than by actual ownership reality. What you've just seen is not a list of perfect cars. Every Porsche on this list has documented failure points that can wipe out the bargain in a single repair bill if you skip the basics. What ties them together is something modern cars are quietly losing. These platforms were engineered to be repaired, not replaced. They have known fixes, mature parts networks, and specialist communities that newer software-defined vehicles cannot match. Buy condition, refresh the consumables, and you have a real Porsche that should outlive most cars rolling off the lot today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.